Good evening and welcome to this edition of Newsleader on 6. Today is Tuesday, April the 12th, 2016. I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, many public venues may be equipped with auto-injectors to assist those with severe allergic reactions if the governor signs legislation sent to him this week. The hall income tax could be repealed in this year's legislative session. Students who are taking advantage of the Tennessee Promise program will have opportunities to do their community service work this weekend. We'll take you to the Piping on the Green event held last Saturday, and we'll speak with the Coffee County Mayor about what's being done to prevent the Manchester Senior Citizen Center from closing. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's Newsleader on 6.
If you're in the market for a new vehicle, Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac is worth the short drive for savings that can't be beat. Take home this 2015 Chevy Equinox, 0 down, just $299 a month. Or how about this 2015 Chevy Silverado Double Cab, 0 down, just $369 a month. And as always, we will match or beat any dealer's price. So come check us out or visit us online at stanmcnabb.com. But please don't forget, when it comes to the best deals, if anyone can, Stan can.
Honey, we know you've got friends in low places who aren't real big on social graces, and we're going to help you chase the blues away. So slip on down to see the tribute to Garth Brooks at Frazier McEwen Park, May 21st at 7 p.m., immediately following the Grape and Grape Festival. Everything is going to be all right, and we're going to cause a big scene. So don't miss the dance, May 21st at 7 p.m. in Tullahoma.
Welcome back. Legislation aimed at preventing allergy emergencies in public places is headed to the desk of Governor Bill Haslam for his signature before becoming law. Once signed, the bill will allow epinephrine auto-injectors to be available in public spaces that attract groups of people and where exposure to allergens could pose a risk to those who know they have allergens, as well as those who are unaware they may be at risk for severe, sometimes life-threatening allergic reactions. The House passed the bill by a vote of 94-0. As passed, House Bill 2054 authorized trained individuals as well as others acting under the supervision of a physician to provide or administer an epinephrine auto-injector under certain circumstances, which would allow organizations such as scout troops, daycares, colleges and universities, restaurants, sports arenas, and other business entities to obtain a prescription and have the life-saving medication on hand for use in an emergency.
The bill also protects those who prescribe, dispense, and administer epinephrine auto-injectors under the provisions of the bill from civil liability. It does not, however, protect against gross negligence, and entities that choose not to have auto-injectors available are protected from civil liability as part of the legislation. It is estimated that at least 1 in 13 children in the United States is living with a food allergy, and according to federal guidelines, epinephrine is the treatment that should be given first when a person is experiencing a life-threatening allergic reaction. 19 states have passed similar legislation. 16 of those laws were passed in 2015.
Ongoing efforts to reduce or eliminate the state's 6% tax on interest and dividend income is up for debate this week in the General Assembly. A variety of bills have been introduced to abolish the hall income tax. Governor Haslam says he favors phasing out the tax, but he says lawmakers need to address income shortfalls resulting from cutting that revenue stream. Many city and county governments also count on income from the state shared tax. Bills to abolish or restrict the tax will be considered by the Senate Finance, Ways and Means Committee this week.
Tennessee state parks and natural areas are offering volunteer events across the state to help Tennessee Promise scholars log community service hours for Tennessee Promise on Saturday, April 16th. There are nearly 60 projects already planned, which include clearing brush, limbs, and invasive plants, planting flowers, building trails, assisting with fun community events, or maintaining historic features such as 2,000-year-old Native American mounds. Deputy Commissioner of Parks and Conservation Brock Hill said, quote, "This is a great opportunity for young people to improve a state park or natural area while banking volunteer service hours and having fun in a beautiful setting all at the same time," end quote.
The Tennessee Promise, part of Governor Haslam's Drive to 55 initiative to increase the number of Tennesseans with a post-secondary credential to 55% by 2025, provides tuition-free community and technical college to recent high school graduates. All Tennessee Promise students utilizing the program this fall are required to complete 8 hours of community service by August 1st, 2016. For a current list of all Tennessee Promise Saturday events and to register, visit www.tnstateparks.com or contact Laura Williams at lauralwilliams@tn.gov or call her at 615-253-9945.
More Newsleader on 6 is coming up right after these messages.
Trucks, trucks, and more trucks. Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma and Winchester is your home for both new and pre-owned trucks. We have a huge selection of over 200 trucks to choose from. Check us out on the web at russellbarnett.com and view our great selection. We are your truck headquarters, and we want to be your one-stop shop. That's Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma and Winchester, your truck headquarters. Trucks, trucks, and more trucks. Why buy anywhere else?
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at tennesseetrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Welcome back. The Highland Rim Scottish Society held their annual Piping on the Green at the Celtic Cup in Tullahoma last Saturday. Newsleader's John Gray was there and brings us this report.
And this is the Highland Rim Scottish Society's Piping on the Green, being held again this year at the Celtic Cup in Tullahoma. And a great time will be had today. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. It's piping on the green. And here's the welcome tent right here for the Highland Rim Scottish Society. And there's all kinds of booths and people in costumes. They've got their kilts on, they're wearing their tartans, drinking cold beer early in the morning. Ah, God love the Scots. Music being played, tents are up, all kinds of different crafts people here. And the crowd is starting to gather. It's a little bit cool yet this morning, but they're having a good time already. There you go. That's a man of my own heart right there. There's all types of history here, things you could do. There's a, look at the bagpipes over there. There's Miss Fran right there. How you doing, dear?
I'm doing very well.
You doing well?
I would like a portable heater, though. Do you have one?
Well, the sun's gonna brighten up here in a little bit, maybe, huh? It's a great day, though. There's Mr. Bentley right there, as you can see, adorned appropriately as always.
Whenever you hear too much of one of us.
Having a good morning, John.
Good morning, John.
Let us know. Everything good?
Everything's good.
This is a great day. It is a great day.
It's warming up.
Fires are lit on the tops of the hill. A chill wind kicks at the fallen leaves. It's a time for a cup of companionship, some warmth to chase away our fears and ills.
And here's two manly men having a cold ale early in the morning, discussing all things manly around an anvil. What better place to discuss manly things than in front of an anvil? And they'll probably have some things that they do. They make traditional iron pieces that you could find back in the day. Piping on the Green, Tullahoma, Tennessee. Now this is really cool. Here's a booth with swords and shields, and they're all made out of wood, and there's an axe right there, so little ones can go to battle as well with their own sword and shield. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And here's one of my favorite groups over here. We see them every year. They're the ones that do the weaving and spinning, and I guess blanket sales will be good today, won't they? All right, folks, this place is going to drive me crazy. This is the greatest selection of writing instruments I've seen in I don't know when. I mean, look at that bone. Aren't they beautiful? For a writer, this is where you need to come right here and look at these beautiful writing instruments. Piping on the Green, 2016, Tullahoma, Tennessee. Held by the Highland Rim Scottish Society. What great fun.
Newsleader producer Philip Scoggins also attended that event and brings us this compilation of the Sinclair Highland Dancers. Let's watch.
We'll be right back after these messages.
I'm Philip Bourne, Stamping Nab Detail Shop Manager. Here are a few things our customers have to say about our service.
What I love most about the Stan McNabb Detail Shop is there's someone local that I can trust to pick up my car, have it cleaned, and deliver it back to me in showroom condition.
What really amazed me is when he opened the hood and looked like he had taken the old engine out and put a new engine inside.
We have several different packages and individual services to get your vehicle looking like new again. We're located just behind Stan McNabb Chevrolet dealership. Call today, schedule an appointment, and see what a difference our detail can make.
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Welcome back. Tonight we bring you part 2 of Tom Corrington's interview with Coffee County Mayor Gary Cordell. In this segment, Gary Cordell talks about what is being done to save the Senior Citizen Center in Manchester.
There's a lot of smoke going around this particular subject, and it's fairly complicated. It's hard to sort it down to something that most of the folks out there can understand. This is with respect to the Senior Citizen Centers. And the issue now is that they say somewhere around $60,000 to $70,000 shortfall in money-wise, more expenses than there is income coming in, and they need that money, most of that money or all of it, from the county or the city of Manchester or both. And this really seems to revolve around being able to keep the Manchester site still running on the same basis. So how does that look? What's your take on that?
Have you got about 30 minutes? No, seriously, I've spent a lot of time visiting both of those centers in the last month or 6 weeks. Learned a lot, and we have wonderful seniors in our county and two wonderful centers. It's very complex, very complicated structure and situation. The bottom line to that is, effective the end of this month, March 31st, the Manchester site will be independent, operating on its own. And part of the funding for this entire operation.
Will.
Yes, sir.
As of when?
March 31. April 1, the Manchester site will be, they'll be trying to set up their own 501c3 and have their own organizational structure and getting funding so that they can continue as a separate site.
They are setting up a separate corporation?
Separate 501c3, yes, sir.
Yeah. That's what folks, you probably are not aware of, that I thought the Senior Citizen Center was a county organization, but as it turns out, they are a separate independent corporation.
That is true.
A 501c3 corporation, and the complexity is that they get money from a whole bunch of different sources that comes in nickels and dimes and quarters and dollars, and then the expenses, of course, have to go out, and it's very difficult to unscramble all of that.
That's true. We're trying to unscramble to make it better going forward. And as I mentioned to the seniors as I began this discussion, that as county mayor, I have no authority over that operation, period.
Right.
But I was willing to start talking with them so we could get folks talking together to try to determine what we felt was best, or what was felt was best for the seniors of our county. Because I'm convinced we need 2 sites in the county, the Tullahoma site and the Manchester site. And over the years, with corporate structure, the Tullahoma site has been like the corporate office, and the Manchester site has been like the satellite office.
Right.
And now it's time for those 2 to separate so they can go their own way, have their own independent structure and fundraising and whatever. Okay. And I'm convinced, Tom, if we get this right now, it'll be better for our seniors in the county going forward.
Oh, sounds like it. Yeah, I hadn't picked up on the fact that you were quite that far along. I know one of the suggestions was that Manchester set up their own corporation, the 501c3. You're saying that's underway.
Yes, sir.
That's going to happen.
That's being looked at now, and I'm convinced it will happen in time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and we can't change that overnight or get that 501c3. But I want to mention that's a lot of plans being made to do that. And Manchester City will be coming to the table. Well, the discussion is right now that Manchester City, we're hopeful, will come to the table with some more infusion of money to help the Manchester side. Right. To the credit, Tullahoma has been injecting over $30,000 into the operation of the Tullahoma side over the years. And
of the Manchester side?
Well, of the Tullahoma side. And my hats off to Tullahoma for Tullahoma City infusing that money in to help the Tullahoma side over the years, paying the utilities and so on.
And Manchester contributes?
Only $1,500 at this point.
$1,500.
Yes,
so
and that's being reviewed right now by Manchester to see what they can come up with to help in that side over there.
Yeah, one summary I had on it was that there was somewhere around a $60,000 or $70,000 shortfall, and that money either needed to come from the county or the city of Manchester, or a combination of those 2 somewhere.
And that's being looked at right now. And it's really, I guess where that figure came from, it's really costing the Manchester site $65,000 or $70,000 to operate that facility over each year. And that's what's being looked at right now, how to fairly support that.
We'll be right back in a moment with more Newsleader on 6.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. After a relatively mild winter with warming temperatures on the way, ticks are expected to be a real problem this year. This video will tell you what you need to know about ticks and the health hazards they pose.
Like fleas, ticks are blood-sucking parasites. They attach themselves to their host and remain attached for an extended period of time, often several days. During this time, the tick will become engorged with blood. This extended feeding period makes the tick an ideal carrier for various bloodborne diseases. Common diseases transmitted by ticks include Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Lyme disease, and ehrlichiosis. Only a small percentage of ticks carry these disease-causing organisms. These diseases, when present, occur more commonly in certain areas of the country. It is important for you to identify the specific tick-transmitted diseases that are common in your area. It is also important to recognize that some of the diseases ticks carry can also be spread to humans. A tick-infested environment not only puts pets at risk, but also their owners. Removing a tick from an animal should be done with care, not to squeeze the body of the tick while pulling it off. Careful handling reduces the chances of infusing infectious debris and organisms into the animal from the tick. Grasping near the head of the tick where it has attached itself to the animal and creating gentle pressure will often be sufficient to initiate its release. Gently pulling the tick straight out away from the skin is usually adequate. Once the tick has released, clean the area thoroughly with alcohol or hydrogen peroxide to help reduce the chances of infection. Dispose the tick in a small jar of alcohol and save it if possible. This will help for identification of the tick to determine if infection has occurred. You may sometimes notice two ticks attached to the skin and hair. These are mating ticks. The female ticks will become quite engorged with eggs and will often obscure the presence of the male ticks. As many as 8,000 eggs are contained in some engorged ticks. The female tick will detach herself from the dog or cat and return to her environment to lay her eggs. Most ticks infecting dogs and cats will need 3 hosts to complete their development. Upon hatching, the young seed ticks will search out a source, such as a rodent, for their first meal. The seed ticks will feed on this first host for a few days and then drop off to molt to the nymph in the environment. After several weeks or months, the nymph will often climb to the tops of the grass or weeds and wait for a passing animal. Once they have clinched on a passing animal, they quickly set out to get a blood meal. The nymph will feed for a few days or a week and then drop off to molt to the adult stage. The adult stage will then seek out a host on which to feed. Because of the large number of eggs they lay in their environment, it becomes extremely important to control ticks, not only on the pet, but also in the environment.
So the reason you don't want to really hurt the tick is actually that the tick is feeding on you and salivating. And so when you burn the tick, it salivates even more. Pretty much you're scaring it and it just goes bleh into you. And that's what you want to avoid, because in the saliva you have potential pathogens. So you want to avoid that. The safe way to remove ticks is to take your tweezers and you want to go as close to the skin as possible. And you want to hold on to your tick And what you're going to be doing is you're going to hold on and you're going to pull straight up. Slowly, steadily. You don't want to twist, you don't want to jerk. You just want very steadily to hold on to your tick like this and pull up like that. Now you have your tick. The mouth parts are there. People worry about not having the head stay into you. They don't really have a head to speak of. All they put in there is little mouth parts. They're sinking their teeth into you. And so the teeth, when you remove them that way, you can see them. They're right there. The place where you had your tick, always a good idea to disinfect with alcohol and to monitor the area just to make sure. Wood ticks don't transmit Lyme disease, so you wouldn't have a problem with that. That said, they are a little critter that lives in the wild, and there could be some kind of bacteria, or even just because there's a hole in your skin, you could have staph infection or anything like that. So just clean the area with alcohol or soap and water, and keep an...
Don't forget to tune into this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9 a.m., and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evening at 6:30 p.m. This week's guests include Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell, who will give us some police pointers. Representative from the Bedford Cancer Foundation will come by and invite everyone out for their Tennessee Walking Horse Show this weekend. And Fran Gray has some announcements about a tea at South Jackson Civic Center that's coming up this Sunday. All that and more on this week's Living.
Stay with us. We'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
The Kia Summers on Us sales event is going on right now at Russell Barnett Kia of Tullahoma. Let me tell you about this event. Purchase a new Kia Sedona, Kia Optima, Kia Forte, and receive 0% financing up to 66 months and your first 3 payments for free. For a limited time only, no strings attached. With America's best warranty, the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, Kia is the power to surprise. The Kia Summers on Us sales event going on right now. Why buy anywhere else?
At the time, maybe you were just building a bridge, a business, or a community. Maybe you were simply working for a home or a better tomorrow. At the time, you served out of duty and love of country. But in that time, we see a legacy created, an American dream lived. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1930 at 85 degrees. The record low was in 1940 at 28 degrees. The average high on this day is 69 and the average low is 46. Tonight looks for mostly clear weather with a low of around 36. Partly cloudy weather in the forecast for Wednesday with a high of 68 and a low of 49, and a 30% chance of rain in the forecast for Thursday with a high of 67 and a low of 47. And that's our Newsleader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for Newsleader on 6. You have a good evening.
Have a great evening.